and they explain the same thing, yet differently. The definitions are not quite the same. As you have different religions, different groupings of countries, different belief systems, each in their own manner, understanding they are better than others. Because they are in this one. The I amness is in this one. But they don't know how they got there. Everybody forgot the Tower of Babel thing. You're in the end times of that. That's all that's going on is Babel. Everybody wants to be heard and declared righteous. You're going to find out how righteous you are and how righteous you are not, and the definition of it. One of the simplest ways to get through this nonsense that's about to happen is simply hold a being in your mind, a picture image, and just think a prayer for him. You don't have to say a lot of words. You have angels around now that know how to pray. You ask them to pray and assist you in the prayer for this other being. When you do, an improvement has happened. You receive the benefit of it. Also, because you applied applicable knowledge for the assistance of another. And that's what you're here for. To be able to hold the space so another can at least be there, even if they don't know how they got there. You're going through a wake-up phase now. And that wake-up phase is for the pleasure of yourself. By that I mean, you know you got this far. You know there's more. And now you have the opportunity to begin the application of the moreness. By that I mean what you desire for yourself. But you first need to understand the necessity to assist another. Because everything's already provided for you once you've done your job. It's already there. You're just looking in the wrong place. You need to back up into your auric field, which is not easy to do because everyone's going forward in their auric field. Forward means an idea up, actually. Advance with knowledge. Too much forwardness will cause you to fall. You'll overstep your boundaries, and you'll damage your ankles and your knees. Now's the time to move slowly and listen to the voice that's yours inside, not hearing and paying attention to another's thought, because they don't know you. They know themselves and their own miseries and joys. They have no idea of yours, though they like to offer advice. The advice you should receive is from the water you drink when you've talked to it. Because God's path is through the water. The water is your telephone to God. Now, whether he answers or not, depending on your consciousness and understanding. The same thing with air, because that force is in the air. It knows vibrations of air. It is itself notified by communication of all things, even communication between flower to flower. The air is present to understand it and present it. The flowers do communicate with one another, just like you beings do. They have their little chatter rooms. There's this communication going on with all of nature, every bit of it, that the human condition has isolated itself from it. It doesn't want to partake in it. It thinks it's the human can do it better than, yet it's not. You are partaking, you have to. You eat, you breathe, and you drink water. You've got 4 elements that are important: air, earth, water, and fire. And the 5th is wood. The 5th is wood. There's a secret in the wood. The wood can handle a tremendous amount of force. Difficult with fire, however. Your spine and your bones are becoming more crystalline, if you allow. And they'll also take on the nature and permanence of what you would term wood, but in the manner that it's present as power. You look at the tree, you see its strength there. Same with you, if you understand the nature of wood and your bones. It's a fluidic process. So you're going through this movement now in space and what you call time, but if you'll notice, there's a feeling of time speeding up, and the need you're sensing is to slow it down. Yeah? One of the secrets of modifying time is with prayer. And that's what your Muslims do with 6, 12, 6, 12. They have their own times. But 6, 12, 6, 12 modifies time for you. If you say a prayer at 6 in the morning, a prayer at noon, a prayer at 6 in the evening, a prayer at midnight, you establish those boundaries. 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 And then you begin to recognize who you're praying to when. Because there's not always someone near the telephone out there. Unless you're in an emergency situation, which is usually the only time anyone prays or really asks for assistance, is when you're about to be dead. That's when it starts coming out. These earthquakes that are going on in your world now, that some are aware of, they're 7.8s and 8s. Just flattened cities in Venezuela. And you have your scientists now predicting 8s and 9s now. Soon they don't know where, when, but they're concerned. You have your government is calling emergency situations FEMA for camps. Military being set. Even Russia has warned the United States from their scientific information of a very powerful earthquake to occur here soon. That was advice. Even with the conflicts that are going on now, there's this sharing of this information. Because you've got this other orbiting thing coming around, which ones don't want to say exists. Planet Nibiru. Well, it's called the 12th planet. It does things. And your Earth is doing what it does. It's experiencing that effect. It's a very large body, much larger than Earth. It has the ancient Egyptian gods and goddesses, you say. It's where Thoth is. It's also where the Holy Spirit's involved. Because you're moving into a place now, a timing, where you're going to blend with the astral. That's electrical. You're going to have to know to get beyond thinking. You learn to receive. And you're going to receive what you've trained yourself for to receive. Because right now you're still in the disbelief of it. But as it starts, you become aware. Oh, I remember this. And then you'll be quiet and stay in your place. Because everything else will be moving. You just hold tight. And then you're going to have to take what is termed a second to stop breathing completely inside, outside. A millisecond. So everything can be adjusted for you because you don't know how to adjust it. Then your body's healed and you're new again in a sense of accomplishment. And then you're stabilized, and then you are prepared to assist others in their stabilization. In their stabilization. You're going into another level of schooling now. Beyond college, beyond PhDs. If you're sick, it's your fault. If you're dying, you did it. If purposely for a reason, you understand what timing in nature is. You're also going to understand you're living your death. So enjoy it. The conscious understanding of the body temple is needed now. The pleasure of having one. Because there are many in the visibles that don't have one. And they're trying to influence you now. That's what this possession thing is going on. They'll get into the body through your auric field. Or through verbiage, so you contemplate them a little bit. And then you can have a discussion with the inside of you. You say, peace to all beings and mercy to them. The conversation needs to be interior with you and the light force that has imbued you with the ability to have a life. And that's in the middle of the heart chakra. And the light physical is in the juncture of the 4 chambers of your heart in the cave there. That's the one that knows I am you. That everything's the same. That one can heal anything. With permission. You need permission. You need permission. You've got a rampant epidemic in your world. So many are taking so much medication they don't know even who they are when they started to take the medication, or who they will be when they're through. And the day is dictated by the timing of taking their medication. They're ruled by it. So there's a knowledge going on. You've chosen the wrong God form. You've been given every prayer you will ever need for the body. You have been. Yet the learning process is very slow here. You're so speedy doing everything else that you think the body can take care of itself, but it can't. It needs assistance from consciousness that's in it and about it. And some of you, in the human condition here, have taken on what is termed illnesses so you can relax in a manner. Everyone can feel sorry for you, wait on you. Some have taken on illnesses to correct the illness of another, but there's a difference there. One knows what he's doing, the other doesn't. I'm going to say you this, and I'm going to give you a timing factor. Within 2 weeks, in May this year, you're going to start seeing in your media all over a desire for healing of sorts that's different. Because medicines are not working anymore. And they're even polluting the vaccines that were meant to cure with the disease to reduce the population. So the basic premise is you're going to have to be responsible for what you're thinking, what you're talking about, and what you're eating. And what you're doing with it. And where did it come from? And who touched it before you? Because you're not even aware of transmission of disease by touch. Or you are, wash your hands, stinks. But not the thought thing of it. When you're in your restaurant, when someone's putting your plate down, what are they thinking to give you? Some food. What's the energy behind the bars and things that... and the food? It's one of the reasons you're supposed to bless your food. Put an auric field around it. And hope the cook knows what he's doing. But you're not realize that yet. How open you're becoming and influenced by other thoughts and emotional frequencies. Because you're a frequency being. You're literally tuning forks. Trying to adjust in a harmonic way within society. You be harmonious. And it's difficult sometimes, a lot of the times. Because even within conversation, arguments start. Lack of continuity. So you're going through a process of temple worship, we're going to call it, which is yourself. And when you decide to clean the interior of it, everything begins to settle. Even the argument parts of the blah, 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 blah. Learn to take a nap within yourself. Take a nap. Calm the portion you think was damaged by another because they didn't do what you wanted them to do and all of this thing. It's false expectations. A creation that you couldn't create, and judging yourself on that manner of it because of another. It's foolish. Don't. Breathe Thank God for the water, and you are new again. New. And when you drink the water, think newness. Think new, past is past. You've paddled through that part of the ocean. And you'll find when your interior fluids start clearing up, that a lot of the debris were old thoughts that you were mulling over. You don't see it in your bodies, but you see it in the ocean. All the plastics and stuff so you're doing the same thing in here. Same thing. The exterior representation is just to get your attention to the interior portion of how you work. That's all. And you can see what the system of your society has done to your oceans. Creatures are dying all over, washing up. Millions of fish. Whales, unprecedented. That's going on now. You're doing the same thing to yourselves. The clearing is drinking your water with a prayer, thankful for the water, and ask for the cleansing inside. It might stir movement in you, diarrhea, perhaps vomiting, because you recognize something in there has to come out. When you talk to the water, it'll do it. Or at least point it out to you. That's the secret of the water. The secret of the air is the appropriate use of words, because they are, in reality, commands that you're going to experience the result of at some point in the future. You're going to feel it. Because you said it. And you might not be in the same emotional state that you were when you said it, when you hear it. But you're going to feel the effect of it. And then you just adjust your tuning mechanism to correct yourselves. That's what you do. You basically learn by your mistakes of what not to do. And you're in a very intense learning curve now. You're not here to impress yourself amongst others. You're here to reconcile yourself with your past lives and your future lives and understand who and what you are now, so you can proceed from a solid, confident base, which is the strength in your pelvis that allows your spine to be erect.